Good evening from Banjul and welcome to the news at 10. First, we begin with the headlines. President Jammeh stresses the need to enforce anti-littering laws to end indiscriminate dumping on a surprise tour of streets of the capital city. Players in the business of school health and nutrition brainstorm on ways of promoting food safety and quality in schools, as well as the personal hygiene of school food vendors. U.S. President Barack Obama tasks his aides to work out what he calls a compressed timeline as Washington mulls over a response strategy to an alleged chemical attack by pro-Assad forces. And the seemingly unending economic wars in Syria put the country's scientific research program on the brink of near collapse. These and other stories coming ahead in the news. I am Fatou Kamara. Well, thank you very much for joining us. The president's search for a permanent solution to the drainage and road problems in Banjul is intensified with another surprise tour of streets of the capital city on Thursday. The spot checks took the Gambian leader and entourage to areas in Hafdai and Tobacco Road. Abdunjai reports Professor Jammeh has stressed the need to enforce the anti-littering laws to end what he called indiscriminate dumping.
A perfect start to his annual leave, which will have implied a temporary break to all official duties. But for President Jammeh, vacation seems to have a different meaning. It is either on the farms or here, intensifying the search for a permanent solution to the drainage and road problems in Banjul. It is 9 o'clock in Banjul and we have His Excellency the President, Professor Dr. Jammeh, just concluding his tour of streets of the capital city here in Banjul. Your Excellency, the general public wants to hear you speak to them. What prompted this inspection, sir?
Well, with the advent of the very heavy rains, knowing that the water table in Banjul is very high, knowing that certain areas in Congo have been flooded, that is why I came here. But one of the principal reasons why I came is to work with the NRA and works, and of course potential contractors. This is the time we know the waterway, the direction in which the water flows, which areas are problematic, so that when they are designing the road, we will take those areas into consideration and give it high priority to make sure that by the time we celebrate our 50th independence anniversary, what we call pota anywhere, whether tobacco, you know, there's a called I want to mention that by the time we celebrate our 50th anniversary, that will be history for the business. So anybody born in the year 2015, this problem we are seeing today would be history that will be narrated to you. When people will tell you, oh, this water here, there used to be a lot of, here, you understand? I feel sad because this is the third time I've come to this area, and where I lived before is the same condition, and so we really have to fix it.
Sifting through the streets of the capital city to areas he may have already visited several times, but the endemic problem of the capital city's drainage system seemed insurmountable. The rise in water level is impacting negatively on lives in Tobacco Road, prompting a spontaneous reaction from residents of this hard-hit corner of the capital city.
waaye tey la ko fi yàlla indi dañu kontaan ba xamuñ suñ kontaan naka la
boobu yàggul buñ ko liggéey woon
yoon bi liggéey nañ ko waaye liggéey bi baaxut ndax ñi nekk ca gannaaw tam ya seen néegi ndox mi dafa fees te seen biir ndox lañ nekk seen bagage yi yëpp a yàq ñaata at ñu ngay ñaan Yaaya Jammeh du si biir Tobacco Road waaye tey kontaan nañ torop ñu ngi ko sant di ko gërëm.
It points to the pain of recurring flood experience annually by residents of this neighborhood, be it on Tali Dauda or its connecting streets. The impact is felt all across the board. The diagnoses are being established against the backdrop of growing indifference to the shared responsibility for the routine maintenance of the facilities constructed for public use. And the authorities have become wary of the situation, with President Jammeh calling for the anti-littering laws to be instituted in full force.
The problem we have is the people. Some people are very, very dirty. Because if you put plastic bags into the gutter, obviously it's not going to go. But I blame the authorities, that is the BCC, because they have municipal police, they also have anti-littering laws. Now we're going to amend the law to make sure that within the vicinity of your compound, what in Manika we call steering car, if there is any dirt, whether you dump it there or not, we are going to take you to court for littering. So each person would guard your area of responsibility. Then you will not see somebody coming to them and say, that is the street, nobody owns it. You have your children, you allow somebody to come and dump because you don't give a damn. This is irresponsibility at the highest level, and we are not going to accept it. So Operation No Compromise also will be instituted in terms of littering and of course dumping of rubbish. Not only dumping of rubbish, but you see yourself in the street. It's unacceptable. This is the time, you look at the condition of the water. There was one nasty place, just Haven, because they dumped everything there. And then they blew a tire and then dumped it into the drain, knowing that it is already blocked. Now people also have to take into consideration their own health, because they live there. I'm not the one who live there. So if you say, oh, the government will, oh, the government doesn't live there. You have your children there. And if you want to make that place filthy, before we clean it, your children get sick.
The tour has started much earlier in the afternoon, parading a long stretch of concrete network in Buckle Street. Its replication is expected to drive government efforts for a transformed landscape of the Greater Banjul area, most importantly the vicinity of Half Dye. Having lived here in his youth days made him many acquaintances, and retracing the trail of history was important to him, but more so to the ordinary people who knew him long before his ascent to power. These are the collections of a president, generating overwhelming attention, especially from those meeting him coincidentally on this tour of the capital city. What's your name? What's your name?
It's amazing. Yeah.
You are from Spain?
From Barcelona.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Mon. And my name is Hiraya.
So how do you find that moment that you see with the
This is
president?
very fun. It's amazing, this moment.
You like it?
Yes, very much. No, it's the first time to meet up with this Hiraya.
This is your first time?
Yes.
This is a turning point to the overall goals of transformation, spearheaded by the Gambian leader, and remodeling the capital city is part of the plan. Abdinjai, GRTS.
The Gambia Hajj Commission and the Gambia International Airlines invite shortlisted applicants for Hajj guides to an interview with the Hajj Commission office at the Supreme Islamic Council building on MDI Road, Saturday, the 31st of August 2013, that's tomorrow. A press release from the Gambia Hajj Commission says the interview shall commence at 9 a.m. and will be done on a first-come, first-served basis. Almost 24 hours of non-stop heavy rains in the Greater Banjul area have left many localities inundated. Samuel Barr visited some of the most affected areas and reports residents in some cases had to vacate their abodes to seek temporary refuge elsewhere.
The two-day heavy downpour experienced in the Greater Banjul area starting from Thursday evening till Friday has left many settlements inundated and houses crushed down. The bridge connecting Kotu and Manja is a major waterway leading to the streams. Here the abutments joining the bridge are said to have been gradually eroded due to the heavy rains.
So what we are going to do here, in fact, we have two alternatives. One is to backfill back what has been lost using boulders and concrete to make sure it doesn't subside on the traffic. But the other alternative, which I'm suggesting here, is to increase the capacity of the bridge. And how do we do that? We want to put another pipe culvert on the side of the bridge. At least the capacity of the bridge would be increased. And by that I mean water flowing from the Serekunda end towards the Kotu end under this section of the bridge will